How's it going? It's Rocky. So it's yet another volatile week because this week was FOMC on Wednesday. And due to that, even though the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed almost 400 points today, at one point it was actually up 600 and then it crashed a bit to negative 200 or so. And basically it was a losing week and it snapped a 4-week winning streak that it was on. But stick around and see how I did for the week on our journey to break even. So this is week number 44. We have 8 weeks left for the year 2022 to try to get our account back to break even. And what I'm showing here is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, specifically the micros, since that is what I'm actively trading. And something I wanted to point out, actually before I do that, every candlestick that you see here represents 1 hour. If you look at these blue histograms here, you notice that the volume on FOMC day is a lot more significant compared to the other days. Like specifically around here, 11 o'clock in the Pacific Coast, the volume on that was 93,098. And if you compare it to the other days, the peak of it, volume was about 34,879. So again, this is the Dow Jones. It does have a lot less volume compared to the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. But for me, it's enough volume. It's a lot slower, and that's why I trade it. And it just, my comfort zone is pretty much in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And I'll put in my lines here that I like to draw out just to point out how we did for the week. Traded a bit on Monday, skipped on Tuesday. I was thinking of actually skipping the FOMC day on Wednesday, but if you check out the link above, I actually did a video on Wednesday to show you how I did there. So a bit of a trade analysis if you were curious how I did. And then Thursday and Friday, and thankfully it was a pretty clean trading for the week, where the hedging that I'm doing with my micro account, even though the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down for the week, I was still pretty much close to break even for the week. So I just want to do one trade analysis that occurred on Friday, today, November 4th, 2022. This is at a point where the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up intraday 600 plus points. And at that point, I actually decided to short. And the reason I shorted was basically on the time base, I was already seeing it starting to head towards the oversold side. I was a little bit more aggressive on this based on what I saw on the tick base side. You could see that on this tick base side here, we're already in the oversold side. It's already crossed over when I entered, and I was just seeing it dipping below the zero line, so I was quite aggressive with it. And basically with this trade, it could have been a scary entry if I was trading big, right? But the ability to trade smaller with the micros, it was quite great because, I could just add a bit more as I was underwater. And this actually turned out quite fine. The trade took from 7:58 to about 8:10, so about 12 minutes on this trade. And this trade netted close to $500. And what was interesting about it is I knew I was in the right direction. If you look at it, I actually covered at 32,461, but if you follow what happened after that, which is quite dangerous if you think about it that way, but I just want to point it out that it went down to about another 600 points or so. So I was trading 20 micros at that point, which means that I would multiply that by 10. So that would have been a $6,000 gain if I had the balls to pretty much hold on to it for that long. But that is not what I'm trying to do with the micro right now, because as you know, I'm doing the micro as a way to go back to my basics, to go in and out rather quickly. What I'm just happy with was this was a profitable trade, and I knew I was in the right direction. So it's more of a confidence booster knowing that, hey, look, if I left it longer, it could have gone a lot farther. So I knew I made the right decision by making this short. So just want to point out that one trade and the reasons why I entered it. And something about this also is, as you trade more, you realize that when I entered, it was 7:58. You realize that at the top of the hour, there's a lot more activity that occurs sometimes, and those little subtle things you'll pick up on as you spend more time in front of the screen. Now, the transparency portion of my content, which is the account statement, I'm recording this on November 4th, 2022. It's about 9:09 p.m. And what I'm showing here is the statement from Sunday, October 30th to Friday, November 4th. And if we look at the description here, just going down there, right? You can see, end of the month, I got $3.42 in interest rate based on the cash balance that's sitting on my account. And then if you go down a bit more, I just want to point out that, yes, I have some mark-to-markets because that's the YM that, I'm holding on to. So from there, lost 600 there, lost 2,535 there, and then lost 805 there. And then again, this Friday, it was a gain of 2,055. But you can see in between that, I was trading the micros a lot just to hedge against my account. And it's been working out for me. I like the strategy. It's maybe a bit convoluted, but it works for what I'm trying to do to get back to break even. And I just wanted to go through this description here just to show that I didn't deposit or withdraw any cash from the account this week. So now let's bring the calculator to see how we did for the week. Our ending cash is $26,900.93. And then our starting cash was $26,968.71. For the week, fortunately, it was negative $67.78, but that's okay. It's a break-even week for me. It's a battle out there with the 1E mini that I am swing trading until December 15th, but I was able to be break even with it, with the micros that I'm holding on to. But yeah, that's our content for the week. We have 8 more weeks left. We're roughly at 50,000 negative year to date. So we'll see if we can recover most of that with the remainder 8 weeks, but that's a lot better than where we were a few weeks ago when we were mid negative 60s or so. All right, hope you enjoyed the content. I appreciate the support that you guys give. Just a like or a comment really shows that the content that I'm making is making an impact to you. I like to point out I'm doing this because I enjoy it, and I'm hoping that others can relate. It's not my intent at all to sell a course, to have a chat room, or anything of that nature. But, if you could help me out just by spreading the word out to your friends and family about this content, my YouTube channel, I really appreciate that. All right, you have a good one.